Good evening and welcome to The Chanel Show. COVID-19 turned our lives upside down, and our deepest condolences go to those who have been lost and lost loved ones. The virus has infected and killed millions and devastated economies, businesses, and livelihoods around the world. Many local politicians have politicized COVID and the Fijian government's response to the pandemic. But one just has to look at news around the world to understand that nobody was prepared for this, and Fiji is in fact punching above our weight in terms of our COVID management and response. We have one of the highest vaccination rates in the world, and that is something every single one of us as good, responsible citizens can be proud of. As we begin to reopen and get back to normal, we thought we'd do a special episode and look back at how COVID has impacted the world. We start with a look at the pressure on health systems and the lives lost.
The capital is being ravaged at a frightening speed. With every pyre that burns, India's self-belief is dying. Each funeral is a story of personal loss and national shame. Charanjeev Malhotra has been helping to cremate the dead for decades. Now, he barely ever stops working. I've never seen such a terrifying situation. I can't believe that we're in the capital of India. People aren't getting oxygen and they're dying like animals, he says. We don't even have enough resources to cremate them properly. Outside, Shivangi Mehra is on the phone organizing oxygen for the hospital she works in.
Nothing is being done. I don't know government is sleeping or what they are doing. I am totally disheartened in the situation which I am seeing. Government is a literal failure. A person cannot live here in Delhi. A person cannot even die peacefully in Delhi.
She's waiting to cremate her grandfather, who died, she says, because there wasn't enough oxygen. This small hospital in North Delhi is facing a daily struggle.
Ma'am, we have been spending sleepless nights since last 1 week. I mean, at times we feel like crying because we are not able to help patient properly. Every day this is the same scenario. We are left only with 2 hours of oxygen, 3 hours of death, and we are only getting assurance from the system, no oxygen.
And so, families are being told to organize oxygen. At one medical shop, we found people with empty cylinders waiting to buy their own supply for loved ones who urgently need it. For many here, the government's promises of rushing in oxygen are coming too late. Families left asking why something so basic is unavailable.
Every crematorium we've been to, we've seen body after body being brought in. It's hard for anyone to keep count, but what workers have been telling me is that the real scale of deaths caused by COVID-19 in India is a lot higher than what official numbers reflect. And a lot of those who've died right now have done so because they couldn't get oxygen in time.
Jitender Singh Shanti runs a group of volunteers here. Even young people are dying. It's a very bad situation. If it keeps getting worse, we'll have to burn bodies by the side of the road, he says. There is a sense of abandonment in this country. Citizens are stepping up to do what a government should, left to fight a vicious pandemic on their own. Yogita Lamai, BBC News, Delhi.
This one is dead, says the person filming. This one, we don't know whether he's alive or dead. Even ICUs struggle as the body count soars, something we witnessed up close in Rome.
So this is a patient who just passed away from COVID-19. Just this moment, proprio in questo istante è morto. So just 2 or 3 minutes ago, this patient was alive and now he's passed away.
Unfortunately, it happens, says Dr. Sebastiano Petrarca, more and more often as infections surge across Italy, once the worst hit country at the start of the global pandemic.
Italy was the first country in the world to lock down nationally so that this would never have to happen again.
But Italians eventually dropped their guard, says Dr. Petrarca, who's now running out of ICU beds. Rome's COVID hospitals are saturated, he says. It's exploding again. Chris Livesay, CBS News, Rome.
Oh, sebentar Pak, tenang aja. Ya sebentar Pak.
Sad indeed. After the break, we look at hunger, poverty, and rising prices around the world. Welcome back. COVID-19 has caused unprecedented disruptions to global trade. The result, an increase in food prices, hunger, and poverty around the world. Not everyone around the world receives groceries and $360 from their government. Take a look at some reports over the COVID-19 period from around the world.
Meanwhile, the pandemic itself has increased hunger and malnutrition around parts of the world. Take Brazil. For the first time, a whopping half of Brazilians don't have access to safe and nutritious food. That's according to Rede Pensan, a local food research group. Lines are swelling by the day at soup kitchens and food distribution points in the country. Experts say the sharp increase in food insecurity is due to job losses caused by the pandemic.
Most countries also have they have food stocks for only a few days. You're very much dependent on other countries. Once the borders close, that really poses a problem to stock supermarkets, for example. But we also see that disruptions, and in this case it was a pandemic, but it could also be natural disaster, climate change, civil
Brexit.
unrest in the countries that we're sourcing from. That would could certainly lead to all of a sudden products not being available in a supermarket or prices going up.
A whole host of major companies are raising prices. Hormel Foods and Cheerios maker General Mills, citing the higher cost of grain. Higher raw materials and freight costs have prompted appliance maker Whirlpool to boost prices by as much as 12%.
We see it on multiple fronts, be it on raw material, be it on logistic costs. And we decided early on, when we saw that wave is kind of not stoppable anymore, we saw the need to come up with price increases.
To offset the higher cost of wood pulp, Kimberly-Clark is raising prices of Scott bathroom tissue and Kleenex. It doesn't stop there. The hikes will affect baby products, including Huggies diapers and female hygiene products. Experts say it will ultimately be up to the retailer to pass on the cost to the consumer.
Now, with price hikes at the supermarket, Procter & Gamble announcing it will join several other major companies and raise costs on popular products over the next few months. Gio Benitez joins us now with what's behind it and what consumers can do. Gio, good morning.
Hey, Michael, good morning to you. Yeah, in this pandemic, Americans were already spending more on food and household items. But now, even with these companies making so much more money last year, we are still seeing these prices go up. Thought you were spending more at the grocery store than ever before? Well, brace yourself. There are even more major price hikes on the horizon. Procter & Gamble announcing they are raising prices on a variety of goods, including senior, female, and baby care.
As the global economy is emerging from a year of recession and the pandemic really hitting every economy really hard, supply chains are coming back online. That's now first showing up in raw material costs. So the companies that sell those items to you end up charging more.
While we don't know the specifics yet, this 27 count of Pampers retails for around $9. A mid to high single percentage increase could see the cost go up by as much as 72 cents per package. Procter's competitor, Kimberly-Clark, a company whose products include Huggies diapers and Scott toilet tissue, also announcing they will raise prices starting in June.
It's a chain reaction. Once they lift their prices, that pretty much gives everyone license to do the same thing.
The Consumer Price Index, which measures how much consumers pay for everyday items, jumped 2.6% over last year. That's the biggest increase in 3 years. It's causing ripple effects in the grocery aisles, everything from Cheerios to peanut butter going up in costs. Analysts say it's not just the price of materials increasing, but also truck driver shortages and issues with freight, like this container ship getting stuck in the Suez Canal.
Eight of the 10 most deprived neighbourhoods in England are right here in Blackpool. And that's before the pandemic struck.
The it's bleak, and that's how people are feeling. It's bleak. I don't think anybody ever imagined it was going to get this bad. We've got desperate people turning up at the soup kitchen every day. Desperate people, not just what we would normally look after the homeless people. We've got families and taxi drivers, genuine people who have just got no money, who just can't afford to live.
How is that desperation manifesting itself?
Well, the panic has struck in this time around more than ever. The first lockdown was bad enough. The second one was incredibly hard, but this one, I don't see a way out of it for a lot of people. We've got people in business who just cannot make ends meet. We've got homeless people who are in hotels that are desperately in need of food. We've got people ringing us up, old age pensioners ringing us up that have got no food. We're primarily set up to help homeless people, but it's changed since the pandemic started. We've been helping OAPs, people who are in lockdown, people who are caught up and not well at home, who can't get out of the house, who haven't got family members. They're just not coping. When you come along tonight, you'll see a lot of families, people there waiting in the queue for food, and that's not a very nice thing to have to do. Queue outside a soup kitchen, it's quite a difficult thing for some people.
It's really hard at the moment going through a pandemic, and when you've got a family of children and stuff that you can't really support, these guys up here help you, you know what I mean? They tell you to come at a certain time, they give you food. More and more people are just becoming homeless, and I think that's why these guys open shelters up for them and they put them in B&B so they're not on the streets where the virus is, do you know what I mean? It's been really bad, honestly. It has. People that have got money that just ain't got it no more because they're out of work.
After the break, COVID's impact on businesses. Welcome back. Around the world, COVID-19 has devastated businesses, many of which will never open again. Check out some reports from around the world.
Almost 100,000 small businesses permanently closed since the pandemic. That's according to Yelp. And unlike in the spring, there is no help in sight from taxpayers through Congress. The last time they passed and signed, the president signed a relief bill was March the 27th, 234 days ago and counting. Now, with restrictions coming back, livelihoods are closer to the brink. Here's CNBC's Kate Rogers.
This is Chad McKay's restaurant, Aqua, less than a year ago, bustling with customers and thriving even in the face of minimum wage hikes and costly rent in Seattle. Today, he's staring down yet another closure, his second in the age of coronavirus, as Governor Jay Inslee announced new restrictions to stave off the most recent surge of COVID in one of the hardest hit states during the pandemic.
A 4-week closure basically means the rest of the year. And none of our team thinks that we're going to be able to come back or the governor's going to let us open for Christmas and New Year's. And to have to walk out and just see the pain on people's face, just, God, it's hard.
Indoor dining will close at midnight on Tuesday until mid-December, just as his restaurant group was able to move back toward profitability. Gyms are also closing for indoor workouts, as are movie theaters and indoor sporting events. The Washington State Hospitality Association warning this will put 100,000 workers out of a job. Like many, McKay has also run through his Paycheck Protection Program loan and said he'd go back for more aid if Washington would come through with a lifeline.
They need to extend and give federal unemployment benefits for all the 100,000 people that are going to be impacted, and they need to do it now. They need to do another PPP, and they need to do it now.
COVID crisis has impacted so many industries this year as the virus forced businesses across the country to close their doors. Mom and pop shops, as you know, were especially hard hit and are struggling to stay afloat amidst the pandemic. ABC's Rena Roy talked with some small business owners on how they plan to plow forward.
2020 has been harder than any mom and pop shop could have imagined.
Really taken a toll on small business owners this year, financially, honestly, in every way possible.
9 months into the COVID-19 pandemic, many of them are hanging on by a thread.
We don't know from month to month where our income is going to come from. I just really encourage everybody to shop local as much as you possibly can, because you're not supporting companies with millions of dollars. You're supporting a mom and a dad and a child.
That's why Small Business Saturday was a lifeline more than ever this year.
If Friday and Saturday did not happen, we weren't going to make it through the end of the year because we didn't have the sales and the income to support the business anymore.
Small businesses are a major part of the U.S. economy. Nearly a quarter of them remain closed. Katrina Paris and Mark Pinn, who have lived in New York City's Harlem for more than 20 years, had to shut down their small lifestyle gift shop Nilu for 4 months.
To say it's been hard has been an understatement. I mean, we're in territories that nobody's ever experienced before.
And how much business have you guys lost with the shutdowns and just the pandemic in general, less foot traffic?
About this time compared to last year, I mean, at least 70%.
The husband and wife duo had to rethink how their business could survive, revamping and relaunching their website to draw in more customers.
People had to kind of pivot, and so that's what we had to do, is to go e-commerce-wise, because that's what really mattered to people. They didn't want to come to the stores, so we had to kind of meet where they were, which is online or Instagram or Facebook.
Supporting Black makers and multicultural creators from across the U.S. is also part of their plan to stay afloat and help others do the same, spotlighting local artists inside and opening their sidewalk space outside to vendors in the community.
We decided, hey, why don't you use our available outdoor space, because there's no flea markets, there's no vending opportunities. We said, look, no fees, no cost, just come out and hustle and you know, and make some money.
And why do that? Because I know you guys don't get any of the proceeds. You know, why reach out to the neighborhood and open up your space?
Because Nilu started with the premise of being a platform for local makers. So it just made sense to extend that.
Paris and Pinn opened Nilu in 2015 when they realized the neighborhood was in need of a shop that reflected its culture and diversity. 5 years later, staying true to their purpose. On Small Business Saturday, everyone there felt the love.
It's huge. I mean, we needed, you know, the attention, the focus, and thankfully a lot of people have been responded that way. They want to be conscious shoppers. They wanted to think twice about where they're spending their money. It definitely gave us a boost.
Just shop small, shop local, shop conscientious, and put your money where your mouth is.
All
All right, Nike and Apple among the big names closing retail locations in the United States. Courtney Reagan joins us. She's got more on this front right now. Courtney, you think this is just a precursor of what's to come?
I really do, Becky. I feel like pretty soon we won't need these lists and we're just going to say everybody's closed. They're going to continue to change these lists, but at least this is what we have now when we're living in this new normal in a country where officials are asking us to limit our gatherings. We're encouraging social distancing, imposing curfews, closing bars and restaurants. So among the retailers that we know right now are closed, mostly here for about 2 weeks, include names like Apple, Nike that you mentioned, but also Under Armour, Lululemon, Columbia, Patagonia, Abercrombie & Fitch, and Urban Outfitters, plus a number of smaller names like Warby Parker, Everlane, Allbirds, Glossier, Away. And again, that's not a completely exhaustive list. The good news is for most of these store employees, they will continue to be paid while the stores are closed. Others are shortening hours. Now, these are mainly grocery stores, which makes sense. They have to have time to be able to restock their shelves and clean their stores. So these names with shortened hours include Walmart and its neighborhood markets and Sam's Club locations, Publix, Stop & Shop, Natural Grocers, Wegmans, Trader Joe's, and some Kroger stores. Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic, those are also operating under reduced hours. B. Riley, FBR.
That's all we have time for today. I hope the show has enlightened everyone to the challenges COVID-19 has put on every single human being around the world. Let's be thankful and humble and learn from this global pandemic. Good evening and take care.